Skipper, ever since you joined the Orlando Pirates, you've never not lifted the MTN 8 title as a player for Orlando Pirates. Just how insane is that? How does that feel?
Look, I think it's crazy, you know. I never thought in my wildest dream whenever I come to this club, you know, I'll be an MTN champion 4 times in a row, you know, and it's such an honor and such a privilege, you know, to be captain and, you know, lift the trophy as well. So it's been a tournament I think I've enjoyed playing. It's a tournament that sets the tone for everyone, and we're really looking forward to playing it on Saturday.
What does it do for the team when you win the tournament? Because a lot of the time we've seen that it's giving you a boost to just keep on going to win more.
Yeah, I think it boosts the morale of the team, you know, to set the tone and to keep the boys hungry to say, you know, if we get silverware as quick as possible, that calms everyone down, it calms our supporters, it calms ourselves, and we are able to perform, you know, week in, week out. And I think that's the major taking point for myself, you know, to say whenever we win the MTN 8, everyone becomes calm and we're able to get down to the game.
This is probably one of the fixtures that the Pirates fans anticipated. We all know that interview, controversial interview, Pirates is just a name. Just take us through that, how you guys take on these players, and how, for lack of a better word to say, how personal is this game for you guys?
Look, for us it's another game, you know. I think it's also under the bridge. We don't take that into heart, you know, into consideration, as much as it was painful to hear those words. But, you know, I think we're professionals, we've dealt with it, and, you know, come Saturday, we're looking forward to playing against the good Durban City. We know their strengths. I think we've seen their game in the past weekend against the Lebone. We'll be well prepared.
But just on that note, we had Chairman that term, I didn't like it. As you guys, players, based on your answer, how does it make you feel? Will you be wanting to make sure to put more respect on Pirates when it comes to that?
Look, I think now the chairman is much more relaxed and settled because I think he wanted the league as bad as us. You know, it was just an Achilles heel, and you know, I think he expressed his emotions at the time. But we know what we have to do. You know, it's water under the bridge, as I've said. We're just looking forward to playing the game on Saturday. We don't take much into it.
Skipper, I see this across all the big teams. I see it with Chiefs, I see it with Sundowns, where the captains normally take a lot of the criticism. It was the same before you with Ino. How are you handling that extra criticism since you took over the armband? It seems to just be a theme across the big teams.
Look, you know, with such, I think you just have to be mature, try and be mature enough about the situation, you know, because sometimes the criticism is fair, you know, and if it's fair, you just take it and move, you know, and try and see where you can improve. But if it's not fair, because sometimes it's not, you know, you also try and see the positives in that as well. To say, you know, these guys want you to deliver week in, week out, you know, any mistake, any loose ball, anything, you know, they'll question it, but it's not through the lack of trying. And I think it's going to be like that for everyone who captains such a big club. As I've said, you know, it's an honor to captain the club. It's a privilege, and I take the criticism.
There's a guy that normally plays next to you there, Lebone Seema. I mean, he doesn't get a lot of the credit because he's not scoring the goals and all of that. But to come to Pirates, your first season, and defender of the season, and a deserved one, we see it. For you, who works with him every day, how good has he been?
Look, it's been massive for us. It's been massive. I think in the previous season he came as an unknown. You know, not most of the guys or the supporters knew him. But I think that was his advantage, you know, to come to a big club without expectations from him, you know. So I think he took the challenge full on and he showed his true potential. And as I've said, you know, I think that was his biggest advantage, to say no one knows me. So what do I have to lose, you know? I just have to keep on performing, and fortunately for him, he took the chance and never looked back.
How hard is the second season for him because like say many people would have known him in the first, but now second season expectations are higher?
Look, I think now for us, he's a senior player, so I think he'll have to take it full on. But we'll try and help him wherever we can, because I still think he's still a youngster. And we'll try and help him, because not every seasons are the same. Sometimes they'll be up, sometimes they'll be downs. But I think with the potential that he's shown, I think there's a lot to expect from him.
And last week, Hugo Bruce announcing that he's leaving. Just your feeling as someone who had been part of the team on a regular basis.
Yeah, look, it's a better one to swallow. I think we've formed such a bond with the coach, and I think he was one of the honest coaches I've worked with. He was a straight-on guy. White was white and black was black. There was no in between. So I think it was maybe time for him. He's old. I think he needs to spend time with his family, his grandkids. But we can never question what he has done for the country. I think he came here with an objective, and I think he took that box.
Skipper, okay.
Looking forward to who comes next.
Yeah. Really looking forward to who comes next. I think it's going to be big boots to fill. But may the success continue for the national team.
Skipper, supporters always want to know how the new signing are settling in. You spent a while with them. How is that process going of integrating them? Are there particular ones that you are particularly excited about that you think we haven't seen the best of?
Yeah, look, I think the guys are settling in quite well, but it's different for every individual, Not everyone will be your Reles, not everyone will be your Mbogazis, not everyone will be your know-how. Sometimes these boys need time, and I think we just have to be patient with them. I think the coach introduced some of them in the previous game that we played, and I've seen potential, I've seen true potential in them, and there's been a few that have impressed me, but I think the club has done a brilliant job of scouting them, and I think they'll add value to the team.
Speaking of signings, has the Viking arrived?
Look, the Viking hasn't arrived. We're still waiting for him. I'm sure he'll add value as well, but we're still waiting for him.
How exciting are you? Because we felt it, so the excitement around all the fans. That where is a Viking road? How excited are you?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to him and coming and to add value, to whatever we have. I think he's going to be a massive player for us. With his ability, I think we've seen the glimpses of what he can do. It's just for us to try and help him settle as fast as he can, because coming to a different country, it's not easy. But we'll try and make the environment best as possible for him to try and perform to his level.